You ever wonder how division opponents fare up against each other? If you haven't, you should. And this applies in, from what I've noticed, football and baseball. I haven't really tracked it in basketball. Period. In hockey, it could go either way. It's more of a toss-up, but something to keep in mind in making your picks. Right. So starting with the NFL, division opponents. Right. When division opponents play each other, especially in good defensive leagues. Right. The NFC West was one for a while. The AFC North was one for a little bit there, and division opponents and how they fare against each other. They usually play a lot closer in football. They usually play a lot closer, and the scores usually tend to be a lot lower. Right? Think about how often these players see each other. Think about how often certain opponents have prepared for Tom Brady or whomever, Aaron Rodgers. Think about how often they have prepared for these guys. So division opponents, something to keep in mind. It's not necessarily a strategy as much as it is keeping it in mind, adding it to your tool belt. If you are looking at a game and you like the under, and now you need to convince yourself on why you like a certain pick, division opponents is always a good way to go. But how does this apply in baseball? Well, let's look at what we had today. Today we had the over 7 in the Mets-Nationals game, and on the mound was Jacob deGrom and Steven Strasburg. Think about how often Steven Strasburg has pitched against the New York Mets, and deGrom has pitched against the Nationals. Now, the Nationals did only put up 2, and that's not the greatest argument, but at the same time, it's something to keep in mind. For example, Tanaka goes on the mound today for New York, and they are playing Baltimore. Baltimore's seen Tanaka a few times. He hasn't been in the league nearly as long, but they have seen him a few times. Most of the guys on that. Adam Jones, Machado, the core group of players, right? And same with John Lester going on the mound in Milwaukee, staying away from it. So it's just something to keep in mind. And now in hockey, it's really a 50-50 flip. I haven't been able to narrow it in on how's the point total do over under. But for baseball, for me, I've noticed it tends to go over when you have an ace playing against a team that they see a few times in a season, especially if it's their third or even fourth start of the season for baseball. And in football, I tend to know that it usually goes under. If I like an under, that's a great backup plan as something to add to the tool belt on stuff to look for. My name is Cody. You can find me on Twitter at CTIBS81. That's CTIVVS81. I give out picks on there every now and then. And, yeah, thank you for watching.